Nobody saw this coming, not like this. Just days after Offset was rushed to the hospital with a bullet wound outside a Florida casino, a silent move was made behind the scenes that has now turned the entire story upside down. Because according to explosive insider leaks, this wasn't just a shooting. This was a setup, a humiliation, and what came next? It might be the most brutal form of revenge hip-hop has seen in years. And here's where it gets even crazier. While Lil Tjay was out here celebrating his release, laughing, calling Offset a rat, acting like he won, Offset wasn't talking. He wasn't posting. He wasn't responding. He was watching. And according to multiple sources, he made one move that instantly changed the narrative, a move so calculated, so cold, that some fans are now saying Lil Tjay just walked straight into a trap he didn't even know existed. Social media is exploding. Celebrities are picking sides. And now the biggest question isn't who shot Offset. It's this. Did Offset just destroy Lil Tjay's reputation forever, without ever touching him? Because if what's coming out right now is true, this revenge story is far from over. And trust me, the next part gets even darker. To understand how this situation turned into one of the most intense revenge narratives in hip-hop right now, you have to go back before the gunshot, before the arrest, before the word rat started trending across every platform. Because the tension between Offset and Lil Tjay didn't start that night in Florida. It started with disrespect. And not the quiet kind, the public kind. We're talking live streams, viral clips, and direct shots that millions of people watched in real time. According to multiple reports and resurfaced clips, Lil Tjay had been calling Offset out for months, accusing him of being broke, claiming he had to help him inside a casino, even going as far as saying Offset was running around asking people for money, like he was desperate. Now, think about that for a second. This isn't just any rapper being accused. This is Offset. A member of the legendary group Migos, a man who built a global brand, a man who was once at the top of the rap game, with hits dominating charts worldwide. So when a younger rapper like Lil Tjay gets online and basically says, "I had to loan him money and he never paid me back," that's not just a story. That's humiliation. And the internet? Oh, it ate it up. Clips started circulating everywhere. Fans started picking sides. Some were laughing, saying Offset fell off. Others were defending him, saying Tjay was clout chasing. But one thing was clear. This wasn't just a random beef anymore. This was personal. And it kept escalating. Lil Tjay didn't stop. He doubled down. Posting flashy jewelry, throwing subliminal captions, basically painting a picture that he was up and Offset was down. Meanwhile, Offset responded, but not how people expected. He didn't deny everything directly. Instead, he challenged Tjay, told him to meet face-to-face, wanted to go live and handle it like men. That alone told fans something deeper was going on. Because when someone doesn't deny a story, but instead pushes for confrontation, it raises even more questions. But here's where things get even more intense. Behind all this public tension, Offset's life was already falling apart in other ways. His highly publicized split from Cardi B had already put him under massive pressure. We're talking messy divorce headlines, financial rumors, custody talks, and constant media attention. At the same time, the shadow of tragedy was still hanging over him. The loss of Takeoff, his own family, his own brother in music, still fresh in fans' minds. So now, imagine this, a man already dealing with grief, a man already dealing with public relationship drama, a man already under financial rumors, now being publicly disrespected by a younger artist over money. That's not just pressure. That's a ticking time bomb. And then came the night that changed everything. April 6th, 2026. A luxury casino. Bright lights. Crowds. And in the middle of all that, a confrontation that had been building for months. What exactly happened in that ballet area still isn't fully confirmed. But what we do know is this. Offset ended up in the hospital. Shot. And suddenly, everything Lil Tjay had been saying before, it didn't look like jokes anymore. It looked like something much darker. But here's the part nobody was ready for. Because while the world was focused on who pulled the trigger, Offset was already setting something else in motion. Something quiet, something strategic, something that had nothing to do with violence, and everything to do with revenge. And in the next part, you're going to see exactly what went down that night and why fans are now saying this wasn't just a fight. It was a turning point that changed both of their careers forever. April 6, 2026, the normal night for everyone else. But for Offset and Lil Tjay, it turned into a moment that would shake the entire industry. Picture this. Bright lights flashing outside the Seminole Hard Rock Casino, luxury cars pulling up, people laughing, recording, flexing. And then suddenly, everything shifts. According to multiple leaked reports and eyewitness accounts, Offset and Lil Tjay crossed paths in the valet area. Not planned, not staged. Just two men with months of tension standing face to face. At first it was words. Heated. Disrespectful. The kind of exchange where both sides already know it's about to go left. One witness claimed Offset stepped forward first, calm but intense, like he'd been waiting for this moment. Another source said Lil Tjay wasn't backing down, reminding him right there in public about the money, about the debt, about everything he said online. And then, it happened. A shove. Then another. Phones came out instantly. People started recording. Security wasn't even close enough yet. And suddenly, the situation exploded. Multiple reports claimed punches were thrown, chaos broke out, people screaming, running. And then, gunshots. Not one, not two, but enough to send everyone into panic. In seconds, the entire energy of that place flipped. Luxury turned into fear. And when the smoke cleared, Offset was down, shot, bleeding, rushed out while people were still trying to understand what just happened. Now here's where things get complicated, because while social media immediately pointed fingers at Lil Tjay, the official charges told a completely different story. Lil Tjay wasn't charged with shooting. He wasn't hit with attempted murder. He wasn't even linked directly to the gun. Instead, disorderly conduct. A fight. That's it. And that single detail changed everything. Because now the internet split into two sides. One side screaming, "He did it, he started it, this is revenge over money." And the other side saying, "If he really shot him, why isn't he charged for it?" But then, just when things couldn't get more confusing, the first twist hit. According to insiders and viral clips that started spreading like wildfire, Offset allegedly did something in that moment. Something nobody expected. Something that Lil Tjay would later explode about after his release. He pointed, right there at the scene, while injured, while being helped, while police were trying to figure out what happened. Offset allegedly identified Lil Tjay. And according to Tjay, he didn't just point, he talked. Now think about what that means. In the streets, in hip-hop culture, that accusation is nuclear because it flips everything. Suddenly, the narrative isn't just who shot who. It becomes something much deeper, something way more damaging. Lil Tjay got out, and instead of staying quiet, he went straight to the internet. Furious, laughing, mocking, calling Offset RAT, saying the last thing he saw was Offset pointing him out to police like, "That's him." And just like that, the story changed overnight. From a shooting to a war over reputation. Because in hip-hop, bullets fade, but labels like snitch? They don't. They follow you. They stick to your name. They change how people look at you forever. And here's the craziest part. Offset still didn't say a word. No response. No denial. No explanation. Just silence. And that silence? It made everything even more dangerous. Because while Lil Tjay was loud, Offset was calculating, watching, waiting. And according to sources close to the situation, what he did next wasn't emotional. It wasn't impulsive. It was strategic. And it might end up being the most brutal revenge move of this entire story. Because in the next part, you're going to see how one quiet move started destroying Lil Tjay from the inside out, without Offset ever firing a single shot. At this point, the internet thought it had the story figured out. Lil Tjay was loud, aggressive, calling Offset a rat, turning himself into the winner of the situation. Meanwhile, Offset stayed silent. No interviews, no Instagram live, no tweets, nothing. And that silence? It started making people uncomfortable. Because when someone like Offset, who has never backed down publicly, goes completely quiet after being shot, that's not weakness. That's strategy. And then, the second twist dropped. A leaked report started circulating online quietly at first, then boom. It went viral. According to industry insiders, Offset didn't just cooperate. He allegedly handed over something much bigger. Surveillance footage, names, timelines, details that nobody outside that valet area should have had. And suddenly, this wasn't just about being called a snitch anymore. This was about control. Because sources claimed Offset wasn't reacting emotionally. He was building a case, piece by piece. And here's where things get scary. Multiple hip-hop pages started posting the same rumor at the same time. Offset is playing chess, not checkers. Fans didn't understand it at first, until more leaks started surfacing. A supposed screenshot of a group chat, a blurred clip showing the altercation from a different angle, and one post that sent everything into chaos. Y'all laughing now, wait till the paperwork drops. That line alone, it shook the culture. Because paperwork in hip-hop doesn't just mean evidence. It means exposure. It means receipts. It means careers ending overnight. And suddenly, Lil Tjay's energy started looking different. At first, he was confident, mocking, laughing. But then fans noticed something. He slowed down. Posts got deleted. Lives became shorter. And for the first time, he looked cautious. Why? Because rumors started spreading that Offset wasn't just dealing with police. He was dealing with people behind the scenes. Executives, lawyers, industry figures. And allegedly, some of them were not on Tjay's side. Now think about this carefully. If Offset really turned this into a legal war, if he really used everything from that night, then this isn't just about street reputation anymore. This becomes something much bigger. Contracts, endorsements, tours, brand deals. All of that can disappear overnight if your name gets tied to the wrong narrative. And here's the most shocking part of all. A viral tweet, allegedly from someone close to the situation, said, "Tjay thought it was about 10K. Offset turned it into 10 million. Let that sink in. Because if that's even remotely true, then this entire situation flipped in a way nobody expected. Lil Tjay thought he embarrassed Offset publicly, but Offset? He might be dismantling Tjay behind closed doors. And the industry? Oh, they noticed. Big names started going quiet. People who usually jump into drama stayed silent. And that silence? It spoke louder than anything. Because when the industry goes quiet, it usually means something serious is happening behind the scenes. Something people don't want to touch publicly. And now the biggest question isn't who shot who. It's this. Did Lil Tjay accidentally start a war he can't win? Because in the next part, you're going to see how fans, celebrities, and even insiders are reacting. And why this situation is turning into one of the most divided debates hip-hop has seen in years. And trust me, some of these reactions, they're going to shock you. At this point, the situation completely exploded. What started as a shooting turned into a full-blown cultural war. Fans weren't just watching anymore. They were choosing sides. On one side, you had people defending Lil Tjay. They were flooding social media with comments like, "Y'all calling him guilty with zero proof. Offset just playing victim now. If there's no charge, then what are we even talking about?" For them, this wasn't about violence anymore. It was about narrative. They believed Tjay was being set up by the internet and possibly something bigger. But then, on the other side, it got way more intense. Supporters of Offset weren't just defending him. They were going on the attack. "Man got shot, and y'all mad he spoke? So, now being a victim makes you a rat? Tjay playing tough till paperwork drop." And just like that, the word rat became the most controversial topic online. Because here's the truth nobody wanted to say out loud. The culture was split. Half the people believed that if Offset really identified who shot him, it was justified. The other half, they didn't care. To them, the code was the code. And breaking it, even in that situation, was unforgivable. That's how deep this got. Meanwhile, celebrities started reacting too, but not in obvious ways. Subtle posts, cryptic tweets, Emoji-only reactions. Quavo posted nothing but prayer hands, and somehow, that said everything, because people immediately connected it back to Takeoff. The tragedy that still haunts this entire situation. Fans started saying, "Not another one. Migos really cursed or what? This can't keep happening." And just like that, the emotional weight of the situation hit even harder. This wasn't just drama anymore. It was history repeating itself. And then, of course, chaos entered the chat. 6ix9ine jumped in, trolling, posting, laughing, adding fuel to an already burning fire. And while some people dismissed him, others couldn't ignore what he was doing, because every time he posted, the situation got louder, messier, more toxic. But here's where things took a dark turn. A so-called insider went viral with a claim that shocked everyone. The industry already picking sides and TJ not winning that battle. No proof, no confirmation, but it spread fast because people started noticing patterns. Certain artists stopped mentioning TJ. Certain platforms stopped promoting his content. And suddenly, fans began asking a scary question. Is Lil Tjay getting quietly blacklisted? Now, whether that's true or not, the perception alone is dangerous. Because in the music industry, you don't need to be guilty to lose everything. You just need the wrong narrative attached to your name. And right now, TJ's name is attached to a shooting, a fight, and a snitch accusation going both ways. That's a nightmare combination. Meanwhile, Offset, still silent, still not responding, still not defending himself. And somehow, that silence started working in his favor. Because the longer he stayed quiet, the more people started saying, he knows something we don't. He's letting TJ talk himself into trouble. This ain't revenge, this is a setup. And just like that, the energy shifted again. From chaos to suspicion, from noise to fear. Because now people aren't just debating what happened, they're waiting for what's coming next. And if the rumors about paperwork and evidence are true, then what's coming next could completely flip the story one more time. Because in the final part, everything changes. One last reveal, one last twist, and a question that might shake the entire industry. Did Offset just turn a shooting into the beginning of Lil Tjay's downfall? Or is there something even bigger hiding behind all of this? You're not ready for what's about to come. Just when everyone thought this situation couldn't get any crazier, it did. Because behind all the noise, the debates, the accusations, something leaked that changed everything. Not a tweet, not a rumor, but what insiders are calling the file. According to multiple viral posts, a private legal document, allegedly tied to the investigation, started circulating in small industry circles before quietly hitting the internet. And what it supposedly contains is the reason people are now saying Offset didn't just respond to the situation, he ended it. The document allegedly outlines a timeline of the entire night, who was present, who started the altercation, and most importantly, who escalated it. Now here's where it gets chilling, because one specific detail from that leak is what flipped the narrative completely. It reportedly claims that the person who fired the shot was not acting alone. Let that sink in. Not alone. Suddenly, this isn't just Offset versus Lil Tjay anymore. This becomes something bigger, something organized, something that raises a terrifying question. Was this planned? And if it was, then why? Some fans are now convinced this wasn't just about money, not about ego, but about sending a message. Because according to one insider post that went viral overnight, Offset wasn't the target, he was the warning. That line alone, it shook the entire conversation. Because if that's true, then this situation goes way beyond a personal beef. It becomes industry-level pressure, power moves, control, and suddenly, Offset's silence makes even more sense. Because maybe he's not just protecting himself, maybe he's protecting what he knows. Meanwhile, Lil Tjay's situation? It's getting worse. Because now people aren't just asking if he was involved, they're asking if he was part of something bigger. And even without confirmation, that suspicion alone is dangerous. Brands don't wait for proof. Labels don't wait for verdicts. They react to perception. And right now, the perception is spiraling out of control. But here's the part that no one can explain. Right after these leaks started spreading, a post appeared. No caption, no explanation, just a picture. Offset standing outside the hospital, smoking, looking calm, too calm. And within minutes, that image went viral because people realized something chilling. He doesn't look like a victim. He looks like someone who already won. And that's what makes this final twist so unsettling. Because if Offset really turned this entire situation into a calculated move, if he really used silence, evidence, and timing to flip the narrative, then this wasn't revenge in the way people expected. No violence, no retaliation, just exposure. And in today's world, that might be the most brutal revenge of all. But here's the problem. This story isn't finished. Because if the file is real, if more details come out, if names start getting confirmed, then this situation could explode again. And next time, it won't just be Offset and Lil Tjay in the spotlight. It could be everyone connected to that night. So now the question isn't just what happened, it's this. Who else is involved? And what happens when the full truth finally comes out? Because, trust me, something tells me we're only seeing the beginning. Now I need you to really think about this. After everything you just heard, after all the twists, the silence, the leaks, the accusations, what do you actually believe? Is Offset playing this like a mastermind, staying quiet while everything unfolds exactly how he wants? Or is Lil Tjay telling his version of the truth, and the internet is just twisting it into something bigger than it really is? And let's be real for a second. If someone gets shot, do they have the right to speak up? Or, in this culture, does that automatically turn them into something they can never escape? I want you to go down to the comments right now and tell me, was this revenge? Or was this survival? And here's the bigger question nobody is ready to answer yet. If more evidence drops, if more names get exposed, who's next? Because something about this situation feels unfinished. Like another twist is coming, and when it does, it might be even bigger than everything you just heard. So don't go anywhere. Hit like, subscribe, and stay locked in, because the next update on this story, it's going to shake everything.